Hello everyone, welcome to this tutorial on Screencast-O-Matic.com, a long name for a application, a program that I think you will find does everything that you need to do in your course. So what does that mean, everything that you need to do? Well, there's a couple things. Obviously, you've got to create lectures. Being able to capture those lectures with your image, I call it the talking head, with the talking head, and without the talking head, and with PowerPoints. It's super easy to do that with screencast-O-Matic.com. It's also great to create video blogs. So I highly encourage you to do a video blog every week in your course. My particular video blog, I call it a week in review, where I talk to students about what we're doing this week, problems we're having in the course, changes, kind of active updates. And I make sure they know that this is very present. This is active. I shoot these per class, and then I throw them away after I'm done with them because they're strictly for that course and the unique nature of what's going on that semester. And I make sure students understand that this is live or sort of live. It's actually as the course is rolling. I even refer to students by name. Um, so again, it makes a nice connection piece with students because they do watch the video lectures, but they know those are recorded. And having to see you live in the course, I think, simulates that feel, that connection that they would have with an instructor in a land-based environment. And they're very easy to do. So I use those I use screencast-O-Matic.com for both, again, my traditional lectures that I produce and for these toss away video blog headshots that I do. All right, so how do you get into screencast-O-Matic.com? It is pretty easy. You're going to be provided a link. Many of you have already been given that link when with your production schedule if you are building a new class. But you're going to be given a link, a specific one that I've established for you, and a password to get into that protected site. Once you're into that site at screencast-O-Matic.com, again, I have about 10 licenses, so we have more than enough licenses for all the faculty members, and it renews on a monthly basis. So if you're not teaching, it will automatically go back into the pot, and I can redistribute those licenses. So we've got more than enough for everybody, so don't worry about that. And you don't have to pay anything for the added bonus features. We're paying that for you because I do think it is an absolutely critical tool for us to have. So you're going to have your link and you're going to have your password. You're going to go to the screencast-O-Matic.com website. You're going to log on, and then what are you going to do? You're going to find a couple of things on the website. You're going to be able to use the application as a web-based application or as a program that you can download to your computer. I highly recommend that you download the file, the computer file, the program, the application, whatever, to your computer. Makes it so much easier. And the demo I'm going to do today is using the computer-based application versus the website. So you've done that, you've gone to the website, you've downloaded it, and now it's showing up in your program files, or should be. So you're going to navigate yourself to there. We're just going to kind of walk through doing that. Before I get started here, just know that I am using a couple of different software programs simultaneously. So we're going to be talking about screencasting software, but I'm using screencasting software to capture this presentation. So it's going to do some wonky things. Normally you'd see my picture right now, but I've turned my camera off so I don't block up that video channel so we can use it in screencast-O-Matic.com. Just little technical pieces that is unique to this specific tutorial because I'm doing a screencast on screencast. All right, enough of the technical warnings. All right, so let's go through. Let's see if we can find this. Again, I do have a shortcut, but I'm going to go through the long way just so you can see it. There's screencast-O-Matic.com. There's that little program file. Going to click on that, going to let that load. There we go. Boom. So that's what it looks like. Now, I'm going to clean up a little bit. We're going to move this over to another window. Make things a little bit more cleaner for the rest of this presentation. All right, there we go. So that's what it looks like. And it's really nice in that it has a nice little repository of all the videos that you've shot. It keeps a nice, again, a little library for you. All of these videos, of course, yours will be blank when you first start, and you can delete them if you need to free up space, but they are all kept on your computer. So it can take up some space if you have an excessive amount of video. After probably 2 years of using it, I then reached an excessive amount of video and had to delete it. And that's using it probably 1 to 2 times a day, throughout a teaching semester. So you're probably going to be fine and never have any issues. But if you wanted to clean up, especially the videos that you shoot on a recurring, on that basis, that the toss away videos, the video blogs that you never will use again after you shoot them, you may want to delete those. Up to you. But that's just a little nice thing in that how it organizes the recordings for you. All right, so let's go through a couple of the basic functions. One, I'm going to do what's called the headshot video. How do I do that? Well, nice little button here, just hit record. Again, play with this. You can't hurt anything. So play with the features. I'm going to go through this tutorial in steps today, but play with it before you have to actually use it. That's my other recommendation. All right, let's hit record. It's going to launch the recorder, which is really cool. And you can see, great, it picked up my video webcam. Hello. So that's what I wanted it to do. Um, and you probably noticed that I just did a reposition on that. That's what's so cool about this too. So this particular little headshot, I can position anywhere throughout the frame. The image, let's scoot this down here so you can see the whole thing. Sorry, there we go. So you can see you have this kind of dotted line here. That's going to be your capture zone. You can change the size of that capture zone to some standard capture sizes. I generally default to 720p. It is high def, and it is widescreen. So you've got that. But know that you can customize it. You can drag these in and out to customize the size to whatever size you wish to capture. But again, my default is 720. And then again, I can move my this little head capture area to wherever I want. Usually I position it right up here. But again, depends on what you want to do. So let's go through the video blog technique. If you notice on the recorder, it's going to give you computer audio. That's if there's any sounds or whatever that's coming out of the computer that you want to capture, you can click that. What would be really the only one you'd want to do is if you're actually capturing a video. So if you're actually capturing a video with screen capture software, you would want to click computer audio. Otherwise, it's going to have to pick up the audio of the video that you're presenting through the microphone. Okay, which it can do. But let's say if you wanted to do a video and you're commenting on the video, you would open up both the narration channel, which you see the green bar moving up and down, and then the computer audio as well. Pretty rare that's going to happen, but so I normally just leave that off. The narration, in this area, you're going to be able to pick your microphones if you have multiple microphones, etc. Okay, so if you look at it and go, why is the green bar not moving back and forth? Make sure you have the right microphone set. And then also under webcam, same thing. If you don't see your image, maybe you've got the wrong webcam set up. I have 2 webcams, so I got to make sure that I've got the right one selected. So once you've got that, and you see you've got the video working, and you see the green bars moving back and forth, you know that you're good to go at that point to record. The next buttons, well, let's just continue on up here. We talked about sizing the window, and we'll do more sizing as we go along. Max time, don't worry about that. Leave it at none. There are features if we didn't pay for the more deluxe version, you're limited to time. You can shoot as long as you want. So leave that alone. Leave the max time at none. These are really the most powerful buttons. It's the screen, webcam, or both. So in this case, I'm capturing obviously both the webcam right here, hi, webcam, and the screen, that area of capture that you see there. Those will be captured. If I wanted to do just webcam only, well, there you go. I could do just webcam only. That is something you could do for those headshot videos if you wish to do that. I prefer just going with the well, and the screen is obviously just a screen, no headshot. Here's why I like both. It's because I can toggle back between all three modes actively as I'm shooting the video. So I'm talking, I usually will start with a full headshot like this. Hello and welcome to the class. We're going to be walking through the syllabus and blah, 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 blah. Or even my lectures. Hey, today we're going to be talking about time value of money. And the essential key points in today's lecture are blah, 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 blah. Okay, so I'll start with a nice full headshot, in the beginning. Or if I'm just shooting that video blog, it might be just pure headshot all the way through. But if for some reason I wanted to change on the fly, I have the ability to do that by toggling with these buttons back here. So I could be doing my full headshot, talk, hello, 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 and then go, all right, guys, let's remove my picture here off to the side. It automatically, I didn't do anything other than click the button. It automatically fades that up to the corner for me. Really cool. Or complete fades me off altogether, which you may want to do, especially with lectures, is get your picture off of there. They don't want to see you through the whole thing. They want to see you in the beginning, and they want to see you in the end, but not for the whole thing. So what's great about this, and let's bring myself back and see, I'm now, I can come back to that. Very cool. So by just clicking that button right here. So it gives you great control over what you're doing. Very nice. So, all right, so I got the button. Let's go ahead and click that. Just make sure you got to be careful. Sometimes I've gone through a whole presentation and realized I forgot to shift my image, whether I wanted it in the corner or what have you. Know that if you position it in whatever corner that you want, and you go to the headshot and then you want to pull back, it will pull it back to that corner. So wherever you set it. Kind of nice. So I'm going to scoot it back over. All right, so I think that gives you the most options on the fly to insert the talking headshot or just to do a talking headshot exclusively. The key for media production is having zero post-production. I'm not going to do any post-production on this video. I'm not going to do any editing. I'm not going to do any special effects. That's what you want to do. Basically, just press the button, talk, press the button, done. That's what you want to shoot for. So, and that's what it allows you to do. You don't want to get into a lot of finicky editing and cuts and all that stuff. That is just a huge time thing. All right. So that's how you do the talking video headshots. Again, I recommend that you just do the uh, uh, the all three in there. You probably noticed the gear icon. Let me scoot this up a little bit. You have the gear icon down here, um, which allowed me just to immediately pull up that menu to, if I wanted to toggle back between those modes in a at the very start of the video. Again, I like choosing both because it gives me freedom and creativity on the fly to really go between all three of these modes. Okay, I think I've beaten that to death. You probably have noticed you got a little pen down here. That's really cool too. So you can actually use the pen for drawing or what have you. Very, very cool. So play with the pen feature. I have used that pen feature for a lot of things, including using it for audio feedback. So that has been really, really cool. All right, just click the pen again to deactivate the pen and to bring back the mode. So you've got the pen. You can use that during your lectures if you wish. Um, Also know that you don't see it in here, but in screencast-o-matic.com will automatically put a little halo around your pointer. You can turn it off if you want. I leave it on. It'll put a little halo that will appear to draw the student's attention, or whomever's watching your video, their attention to your cursor. So if you wanted to use your cursor in there, that's going to be automatically rendered for you. So there's how to do the headshot video. Now, how do you do the PowerPoint? Well, you can do all kinds of stuff and download PowerPoints, upload them, what have you. Here's the easiest way to do it. You've got your PowerPoint. You pull up PowerPoint, which I'll do right now, and we're just going to shoot it right from there. There's the beauty of screen capturing software. So I'm going to bring up just something here, a sample PowerPoint. That's not available. Let's try another one. Something I've done recently. Okay, so bringing up a PowerPoint. Here's an old PowerPoint, and it's in not a lot of the new PowerPoints. And my recommendation is, if you are doing PowerPoints, if you're creating them, don't kill yourself, but try to switch to the landscape mode, or switch to widescreen mode. Most, I guess, modern PowerPoints now are in that widescreen mode. All right, but I'm going to have a PowerPoint. I got my, I've just brought up regular PowerPoint here. And as you can see, let me drag it down. I mean, it's nothing fancy, just got your regular PowerPoint in there. I'm simply going to capture to this PowerPoint window. So I'm going to use that custom sizing that you saw before. So I'm just going to kind of scooch things in a little bit, size it down, and know that you can actually adjust. You have the ability to adjust PowerPoint. Let me show you. We'll bring that so you can capture it in the window here. All right, there we go. Now you can see my PowerPoint. And let me bring screencast-o-matic.com in here, tighten that up so you can see my capture window. Okay. Notice that you can always adjust, the size of it by using that. So I've had to play with that occasionally to make it kind of fit and make things work a little bit. Probably open that up just a little more. Okay, I think that looks good. I think I like that. So I'm going to adjust my Screencast-O-Matic to capture the window nice and clean. Looks good. Looks good. All right, I like that. I'm going to drag my little picture right down in here. So if it was out here, not going to capture. I got to bring it into there. Okay, that looks good. And then I can still do my full screen, and then I can pull it back, and then you can't see it, but when I do this, it will disappear it. Okay? So typically what I'll do is I'll start my lecture off with maybe a full screen headshot like this. Hi everybody, welcome to the lecture. Let's do one. Actually, let's do one right now. Let's record and see if this works. So I'm going to hit the record button. I've made sure my microphone works before I do this because I've done that. I've done a whole lecture. Microphone didn't work. Didn't check. So make sure your microphone is working. Make sure that your video, obviously, that's working. I can see that because I'm capturing it. All right, so I'm going to hit the record. I get a nice little countdown. And there we go. I go, hi, everybody. Welcome to our lecture. We're going to be talking about time value of money today in this lecture. The key important parts is that you understand how to be able to take a sum of money in the future and bring it back to the present, or take a value of money that you receive today and be able to project that to a future date. Okay, so we do that, give my little lecture, my little intro. Then after I'm done with my intro, say, all right, well, let's go ahead and get started. Then I'll either bring my picture up to the corner, or I will click the box where there's nothing in there, and I completely will fade off at that point. So, and you'll see as we're going to watch this back how that just faded off. And I simply will advance through my slides as I'm talking, blah, 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 blah. I'm just basically just talking to my PowerPoint slides. and capturing. And then I get at the end, I'll get at the the end of the lecture, and I'll come back. Well, today we've talked about the time value of money, and we've learned key concepts that you will find valuable throughout your entire professional career. Remember, to study, blah, 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 blah. So then I'll usually end my lecture with another headshot like this. I do not like to be on camera for the entire presentation. Um, I think it is a little distracting, but I think they like to see you in the beginning and they like to see you at the end of the presentation. All right, and then I'll sign off. And thank you for watching, and I'll see whatever your sign off is. And thank you for watching today's lecture. Hope you found it beneficial. And at that point, just hit the pause button, and I think, yeah, I'm done. I'm really done with this. And I'll click done, and then it will render for me. And you're going to be able to do a couple of things, and we'll talk about these just in a second. As far as what you want to do, I do have some recommendations, but it's up to you. So let's just do a preview and see how that looked. And there we go. I go, hi, everybody. Welcome to our lecture. We're going to be talking about time value of money today in this lecture. So here's our little
important
presentation.
parts
Is that you understand how to be able to take a sum of money
Now, you
in
may
the
not be fully
future
hearing me right
and
now,
bring
but
it
it is
back
coming out
to the
crystal
present, or
clear.
take a value of money that you received today and be able to
But I want you to see what
project
it's going
that
to
to
do
a
with the
future
video.
date. Okay, so we do that, give my little lecture, my little intro. Then after I'm done with my
Okay,
intro,
so my
say, all
intro
right,
is
well, let's
done.
go ahead and get started. Then I'll either
See how
bring
it
my picture up to the
it
corner,
automatically does that
or I will
animation.
click the
That's
box
actually
where there's
pretty cool.
nothing in there,
And
and I
or the fade.
completely will
I
fade off
love
at
that.
that point.
For me to do that in a
So, and you'll
post-production
see as
environment
we're going to watch this
is
back
not
how that
exactly
just
easy. This
faded
does it
off.
for you
And I
automatically, which I
simply
love it.
will advance through my slides
So
as
we're
I'm
gonna,
talking.
so it's
I think it
capturing,
is a
and
little
then
distracting.
let me bring it
On
back
camera
to,
with another headshot. Remember, to the time value,
oops, you
the
can
end
see
of
I'm
the
navigating
lecture,
through
and I'll
the
come back.
timeline, and see how
Well,
it
today we've
faded
talked
and
about
brought
the
me
time
right back.
value of money,
And
and
I'm
we've
doing my
learned key
close, my
concepts that
lecture
you will
close
find
right now.
valuable throughout your entire professional career. All right, so I've done that. I like what I've shot. It looks great. You can do a couple of things. Well, you can do three things, obviously. You can upload directly to YouTube. I do that. It works. You got to plug in your YouTube or Google login. If you're a Google person, all things Google have a single login, including YouTube, which is owned by Google. You could upload to screencastomatic.com. Um, that also is a great way to go. One click upload, or you can save as a video file. I tend to do, in general, I tend to do save as video file. That puts the video file on my desktop. I have it, and then what I decide to do with it after that point is kind of up to me. So, especially if it's something like a lecture, I will want to keep that um, on my desktop. If it's one of these video blogs, I might do a direct YouTube upload, just saves me a step. So, play around with that. The key piece is that you're going to have to remember that whatever you choose, well, let me go back. Let's say, well, you do have to, once you've rendered that video, and let's say you saved it to your computer. Well, obviously, students can't watch it. I then, in turn, do another upload to YouTube. So it's kind of a two-step process. But I want to make sure I've got that video completely rendered in a user-friendly format for me before I put it up into the cloud, if you will. And both of these really are cloud options, YouTube or screencastomatic.com. So it's just more of a security measure, a safety measure. If something glitched and I just lost the best lecture of all time, which has never happened. I've never lost media in this, but which has been fantastic. I can't speak of how well that has worked for me, where I've used much, much, much more expensive programs and I've had them crash and I've lost media. So it's been very stable for me. But I still do that two-step process. I save as video file. Let me show you how that works. So it's going to give me some options. MP4 is what you want to do. I won't get into the reasons. But everything you want to do in the world of video, please do it in MP4. So you'll leave that alone. File name, you can change that if you wish to whatever, my recording, uh, which is kind of nice, or lecture one, lecture two, whatever. You can always change the name of the file later, but there you go. Where you want it to save, up to you. I just have everything saved to my desktop. Remember I talked about that cursor, the ability to highlight that cursor? Here's where you can turn that that off and on. So I do like having the cursor kind of the highlighting there. Captions, don't worry about that. Quality, you can kind of play with the quality. Normal, I would recommend keeping things in normal. I just shot a video recently before going to this, and I left it at the lower quality. If you're doing quick little videos, you may want to do low quality, but I would just recommend normal is going to keep you safe for just about everything that you're going to do. If you get anything too low of quality, but you're capturing really big screen space like the 720 size, it's going to get grainy and some of the images, or especially text-based images, are going to be hard to see. Normal generally does a good enough job for anything, and yet keeps your system running pretty quick, because whenever you render video, that can take time. Um, so normal, keep it on normal. You should be fine. You may have to, if you find, ratchet up to higher. But again, I think you'll be fine with that. And then you hit publish, and then it does its thing. It takes a little while. Again, it's crunching a lot of data. If anything is a downfall to screencast-o-matic.com, it is the time it takes to render a video. If you're doing, we did a 1.5 minute video, and it's going to take about 1 minute to render. So if you're doing, again, a 15-minute video, it's going to take about 15 minutes ish, to push through that. All right, so I'm going to pause the video here, and we're going to let this render, and we'll come back. Okay, it has gone through its little rendering process and put a little MP4 file right on my desktop, as I hoped it would. So let's take a look at this real quick. It's going to look pretty much exactly like it did when we did the preview before. And there we go. I go, hi, everybody. Welcome to our lecture. We're going to be talking. Pause that and bring this over for you so you can see it. It's popped up on another window for me. We're going to bring that over. Size this down so you can see it. All right. So it's brought up about time value of money today in this lecture, and you can see, hopefully, let's scroll ahead. There. So that's what I wanted to show you. Notice how it puts the halo around. Click the box where there's the cursor, and I simply will advance through my slides. So that little halo is very cool right down in there. Now, and the halo will fade. So just know it's got a little, I guess it makes it more visible for your students to follow if you're using, if you don't have to, but if you're using the cursor as a kind of a laser pointer. So, all right, so we've done that. We're good. We've rendered, we have rendered our video. I'm just going to bring this back up so you guys can see me again, because that's my video channel. And there we go. Doop, 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 webcam. There we are. And straighten me up, make that look clean. All right, so you now have that MP4, that little video file, which you then can upload to YouTube, a very easy process. You can even go back in to screencast-o-matic.com and upload to their video servers. So let's go ahead and walk through that. The YouTube one, if you don't have a familiarity with YouTube, I mean, it is very, very easy. So let's remove this real quick. It is very, very easy to do. So I guess pick one that you wish to become familiar with, because you do have to have the video up in the cloud to then produce a link. You're going to have a link, and that link can be shared with the world in your class or with anybody. What's cool about YouTube is literally it is the world. I mean, I've got thousands and thousands of views. of my videos that are out there. Don't know why people are watching them, but yes, so it is kind of cool to have that out there. So that's kind of the advantage with YouTube. With screencast-o-matic.com, though the videos are public, you can't have them marked as private, but that I wouldn't recommend that. There's been some issues in students viewing them. It can be found, but no one's going to find it, quite frankly, on screencast-o-matic.com randomly, okay, without you providing someone a link. But let me show you, since I'm going to say the YouTube method is probably the easier one, let's look at the Screencast-O-Matic method and how to upload your video. Remember, you've saved it to your desktop, and why did you save it to your desktop? Because Chris is freaked out about you losing your video that you've just made. So going through that two-step process rather than a direct upload gives you that MP4 file that you know is there. So if the upload somehow fails, you are definitely good to go and retry it again. That's the only reason I kind of make it a two-step process. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to bring screencast-o-matic.com back into the picture here. And we're going to remove this. Pull myself back out here. Okay, so we've got our Screencast-O-Matic. I'm going to be able to import that video. So I'm going to click that. Again, this is kind of a multi-step process here. I've got my MP4, which is different. If you notice right here, it does there you do see the recording listed right here. That is not in an MP4 format, but you could upload directly from that Screencast-O-Matic format. But I'm going to show you how to upload. Really, what I'm showing you here is how to upload any MP4, any video, which I've done other videos into the Screencast-O-Matic servers. So I simply click that import button that you saw, and I'm going to search for the recording that I want to do. I'm going to do my recording. I'm going to click open. It has uploaded it, and there it is. So I'm going to go ahead and now it is ready to be shared with the world. And at this point, then I'm going to double click on that video, which I did really quickly. Sorry about that. And I'm going to now upload to screencast-o-matic.com. I'm going to keep it searchable everywhere, quality normal, title. I could put my lecture, and I'm going to hit publish. We're going to let this render. It's actually not rendering, it's uploading, encoding. So give that a while. I'm going to pause. Okay, it just finished in about a minute, and you can see that it shows, 100% encoded, 100% uploaded, got the green little check mark. And then it gave me some options. I can open the upload or I can copy link. One of the things you'll want to do is copy the link, and then that will give you a link that you will then be using wherever you might use it. You're going to use it in your course, most likely, but then it gives you a link that you can share, share with the world. Let me show you. We'll pull that up here. I just hit the copy, so it saved it right to my clipboard. And let's just see what it gave us. So I'm going to do a paste, and there's the link. Boom. Okay, so which I would embed, which we'll do another separate video on how to embed within Canvas your links. But there's the link that I could share with anybody. Let's see what this looks like. Do a control click. Let me minimize that a little bit so you guys can see this. It's bringing me to the Screencast-O-Matic website. Again, YouTube, you probably have all been to YouTube, but it's different, a little bit different layout, a little bit different video player. And there's the video that we just
And there we
uploaded.
go. I go, hi, everybody. Welcome to our
Okay.
lecture. We're going to be
So
talking
now
about
that's,
time
I
value
can
of
share
money.
that with the entire
Today
world
in this lecture,
because it's now
the
a
key
link
important parts that
published
you'll
on the web.
understand how
So
to
there we go.
be able.
All right. So there is all of the basics that we've gone through. You've gone through how to do the headshot video. And let's go ahead and follow kind of what I'm doing here. Again, a little difficult because I got screencasting on screencasting software. We have gone through how to do the headshot video. Very easy to do. We've gone through how to capture your lectures, your PowerPoints. I mean, we don't need to get too fancy with this. How to capture your PowerPoints, how to have your headshot in the beginning, then fade out, then your PowerPoint presentation where you're just talking, talking, talking. You can always hit pause. You probably didn't know it, but I hit pause a couple times in this video to get a drink and, cough or whatever you need to do, and then unpause and keep going. And then at the end of your lecture, bring your headshot back and just kind of conclude your lecture. Okay, so you've learned how to do that. You've learned how to then, once it's done, you render it into an MP4 format. My recommendation is you do that because once you got this little guy, this little MP4, I personally feel so much more comfortable than the video being encoded in some other format, which is my understanding screencast-o-matic.com does, and having it encoded and then directly put into the Screencast-O-Matic servers or even YouTube. It's very difficult to pull videos out of YouTube directly. There's a lot of little tricks and nuances to grab a YouTube out of video, so a video out of YouTube. So I always like to take that crazy little step of rendering the video in MP4 format to my computer, then deciding which video server do I want to use to share it with the world. I could use screencast-o-matic.com, which I showed you how to take any video, any MP4 video, and upload to screencast-o-matic.com, get that link, and share it with the world. I didn't go through the YouTube one, but it is very similar, but you will be required to set up a YouTube account. If you don't want to do that, that's okay because you can use screencast-o-matic.com and their video servers to host your video out there so you can link it to your students through your course. So it showed you how to do that. Showed you some of the features, the halo around the cursor to draw students' attention. You could actually write on PowerPoint slides if you want. You can have a blank PowerPoint slide and write. If you wanted to do some formulas, which you can do. If you've got a touch screen, makes it a little bit easier. I got a touch screen computer. I can actually write formulas out if you wanted to do it that way. So, you've got really all the essential tools that you need to make really outstanding lectures. So that concludes our little video tutorial. If you have any difficulties or problems, please feel free to contact me. I am going to, we will have a separate tutorial on the other software if you wish to use, called Explain Everything. That one it can be very helpful in using, but quite frankly, if you were to pour yourself into any particular software, do it with screencast-o-matic.com. It most likely does everything that you're going to need to do. All right. Thank you for watching this tutorial. Hope it's helped.